What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So, I just sold my Verglas riven from my previous Verglas Prime Nautilus Prime video, and I'm actually kind of missing it, because the Verglas Prime is just so good that I feel like I just need to get it back. So, we're going to be reacquiring the Verglas Prime today, hopefully getting a roll similar to the previous one. But yeah, this will be a Riven rolling guide for the Verglas and Verglas Prime for that matter. And yes, guys, we do have confirmation. These high Riven stats on the Verglas Prime are actually intended. It's not a glitch, and they will apparently not be, at least immediately nerfing this dispo. So let's get right into this video. But before we do, make sure you sub this channel. Do daily Warframe video uploads, everything from build guides, Riven rolling guides, and all that kind of stuff. News videos as well. I'm a great place for Warframe content. And yeah, the previous roll I did have was pretty expensive to buy, to be honest. And I knew it too. I was getting some offers for like, 1,000 plat, 2,000 plat. Ended up going with about 8,000 plat in the end for an extremely amazing Riven. It had like 192% crit chance. It had multi-shot and damage too, and minus magazine. Some of the best stats you can really get on this thing. And that's what we're going to be looking for today as well, is trying to replicate the previous Riven. The main thing I'm looking for on here is critical chance and multi-shot. But I'd be down, honestly, if we had the exact same rolls before, I would love that, because that was just so good for killing high-level enemies. Some other stats that could be good on here too. Critical damage. I didn't have critical damage in the previous roll. We had crit chance, overall damage, multi-shot minus magazine. So anything like that would be great. But I'd still take combination of crit chance, multi-shot, stuff like that. So let's get right into it. Heat would not be terrible on here either, because a lot of the builds I'm running on the Verglas do tend to be... oh, that's pretty good. They do tend to be a heat proc focused build. So this one's not going to really be the best. It's got cold, critical chance, and corpus. So the best part about this first roll we just got here is we already have a keepable roll. And since these rivens are going for like 800 plat unrolled right now, and it's the proper polarity I wanted, it's the same polarity as my previous riven, this is already a keepable roll. So let's go ahead and look at what it is going to do to our build right now. Because, guys, these rivens are not all created equal. Just because we have critical chance on this riven doesn't mean that every critical chance roll will be as good. So let's take a look at how high the crit chance gets on this one. So without it being ranked up, we're getting a little bit of crit chance from it. But if you look at the previous video, we had 69% crit chance with the maxed out riven. So with the triple stat, no negative, let's see how high our crit goes to. And I already know it's going to be lower, but still should be high enough to actually get away with it. Yep, so we lost about 6% crit chance on the previous build, and we are going to keep rolling this. Looks like on the build I am running, we actually do have a cold mod on here. I am running rime rounds, it seems like. And I wonder if I actually do need that for the build. I think I actually do need that for the build. Yeah, because it goes to gas cold if I take that. Okay, so already a keepable riven, thankfully. We could put something else in this slot besides rime rounds. Now, rime rounds is very good for that status chance increase. But yeah, we could technically just go with something else here, as we have what we need, the cold, to get the viral, and the heat is also going to be great. Our heat weighting is terrible, so yeah, again, we could get like, a roll that has maybe heat on there to be a keepable roll as well. I'm going to keep rolling because, it was only one roll. We can't stop on one roll when the previous riven was so good. So this one's not going to be something we can take. The punch through is okay, but we are already running Rifle Elementalist on the main build, which does give this punch through already. And this thing with punch through already is doing some weird stuff sometimes. The Sentinel's trying to shoot through the wall and stuff like that, so not really ideal. But yeah, let's just keep on rolling this thing and see what we can get. So now this roll right here would be actually pretty good for a DPS-focused build on just heat procs. And this one will work great on the Verglas Normal or the Verglas Prime, but since we are focusing on the Verglas Prime with these riven rolls, we are going to need that crit chance for the Tenacious Bond setup. But now, I'm not saying this roll wouldn't be better, potentially, even damage-wise on a specific build. But yeah, guys, since I'm going for the crit chance roll on here, I can't even consider taking those rolls for the most part. So we're really trying to hunt down that crit chance, multi-shot, the same rolls before. Seriously, I hate to be saying that over and over again, but the same rolls before would be amazing here. We got minus reload speed and plus corpus. I'm not really a huge fan of plus corpus. The corpus are going to die really easily to this weapon, especially when I'm using things like roar, or some people are suggesting nourish. We could go with a pure heat build and have Nourish thrown into the mix as well, making it go even crazier. So that's also an option you could definitely go for. As far as these rolls so far, reload speed not really the best. Magazine negative was not that terrible, but yeah, I feel like minus reload speed would probably make it a lot worse. What is the reload speed of the Verglas Prime? 1.6. You know, if you had minus reload speed, it would make it a lot longer, which you probably don't want to have. But I'm not saying that you can't have it and then, you know, yeah, like look at this, minus 53% reload speed. That would make this an extremely long reload, like probably about almost 3 seconds, I'd say. So, pretty disgusting, but a pretty good roll if we were to keep that for a different type of build. But not the build I'm trying to go for, so we're going to just move on. Okay, so yeah, nothing of value here. That's a lot of punch through at least. 4 meters of punch through is a lot. That's actually, for some of the Sevagoth videos I've been working on, guys, some of the Incarnons that have wall channeled abilities active plus this stat actually work pretty well as Sevagoth, because Sevagoth has Gloom, and Gloom is a channeled ability, making this, we'll talk about this in a second, making extra punch through from like the Boltor Prime Incarnon extremely good. Now, we had got the exact same Riven, but with instead of plus damage to Corpus, we got plus damage to Infested, and we did get a bit more cold damage, technically, and we got also a bit more crit chance by 0.6%. It doesn't actually matter at all. I guess technically I'll take this one. I guess it does make our heat weighting even worse, but you know, they're the exact same Riven basically. I don't actually care. Now that one looks pretty good. If this was crit chance instead of crit damage, I'd be a lot more happy about that, but alas, it did not end up happening that way, so we're going to keep on rolling this right here, and hopefully we get something better. Okay, punch through and magazine capacity, no thank you. Definitely could be doing better than that. Looks like I got someone messaging me. I was trying to find a Verglas Riven earlier, guys, after that crazy sale earlier, the 8,000 Plat Riven sale for the Verglas. I have been trying to get one back, because, like, you know what? As much as it's nice to get a bunch of Plat for a Riven sale, I did kind of regret selling it a little bit, because it was just so good. It's such a powerful weapon. They did really make it a top-tier option. And here we are with a multi-shot toxin reload speed Mias Grenier. Unfortunately, not the stats we're looking for. Mias Grenier definitely is not helpful either, since those heat procs do get massively affected by that. Critical damage heat, Mias Infested. So this is the way that the negative Infested looks nowadays. It's times negative, basically. Now, this would be great if we didn't need the crit chance for the roll, but unfortunately we do, and that is very unfortunate, because that is a lot of heat procs there. Our heat weighting would be crazy high on that build. Yeah, now this is my only Verglas Riven right now. Okay, well, that is an unfortunate negative. I don't think we can actually take that one. We have Verglas Krita Acrodex with critical damage, critical chance, status chance, but minus 162.5% damage. And since I said earlier, the DE devs did clarify these dispositions are intended on the Verglas Prime. There is pretty much no way that will ever be low enough that I can even have positive damage, so we're not going to even bother with that. It is a pretty funny negative to get, though. What we have here, we have double crit, anti-Grenier, and minus fire rate. That's a lot of minus fire rate. I feel like that might be pretty bad in some situations, but also pretty good in some situations as well. We have 12 fire rate on this gun. It's a really bad negative. I think I might take this, because this Bane of the Grenier also does affect our heat procs to make it really high DOT. I'm not happy about the fire rate, guys. I'm really not, but I think I am going to take this one because, I mean, look at the other roll. It's just not very good at all. It's got anti-infested on it. It's got cold. It would be great for my viral build, but yeah, I'm going to take this one for now. But I don't think we're done yet. I think we can get better than this. Minus fire rate is a terrible negative for a beam weapon. Let's just keep on seeing what we can get here. Now, you know what's funny too as well? I was looking at some, I was actually unveiling some companion ribbons to get this. That's a great roll for a heat build right there. But I'm not going to take it because we are using Tenacious Bond here. This is my only Verglas Riven. I was looking at some other rolls, and you remember the Hellstrom? The Hellstrom used to actually have extremely expensive ribbons as well, but I feel like now that the Verglas Prime came out, the Hellstrom ribbons are like dirt cheap because people are opening so many companion ribbons to get more Verglas ribbons out there that there's like an inflated supply of Hellstrom ribbons, and also there's no Hellstrom Prime. Let's be honest, there's no Hellstrom Prime, and the stats on the Hellstrom are just kind of low. It can still do some great work, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I just feel like I'm not going to really be using the Hellstrom over the Verglas anymore. Someone had a comment on my video the other day, they're like, you know what, Gaz, like blah blah blah, like, you know, video good, whatever they said. But I am not, the worst part about this, I'm not going to ever use anything else besides the Hellstrom and the Nautilus and the Verglas Prime ever again. It's like, you know what, they do have a point. It is so strong that it's going to be hard to really try anything else out with how strong these weapons are getting. And the Verglas was already like that previously, but the Verglas probably has higher stats. That's the funny part. So what do we got here? We got critical chance, cold, and Maya status chance. You know, I feel like it's maybe a better negative. This thing has lots of status. But yeah, we don't need that much crit chance. Like, if we look at what we have right now, we are pretty much already overkill on the crit chance department. So yeah, we just need to have crit chance. It doesn't need to be a high amount of crit chance. So unfortunately for that roll, I think the one we got is just going to be better. Better than at least not having a Riven, I'd say. Okay, now here's an actual roll worth thinking about. So we've got multi-shot, crit chance, toxin, and no negative. So this would work for the crit chance build. This would also be a multi-shot buff, which is always great for these beam weapons. But here's the issue: it would be also toxin, so it's going to dilute our viral weighting very high. So the heat weighting will be lower, and the viral will be very, very high. My previous Riven did not have a negative, or sorry, did not have an elemental, and this one doesn't have an elemental either, or the other one doesn't have an elemental either. But it does have that bad minus fire rate negative. It's unfortunate I didn't look at how much fire I actually have on my build, because this looks like it could be actually a keepable Riven here. I say we go for it, honestly. I say we go for this. It might not be the best. It has no negative, and that's always sad, but this one's got negative fire rate by 56%. And it's got 12 fire rate and an 80-round magazine. I mean, we're going down to like 6 fire rate. That thing's going to be firing for a really long time, not getting many procs off. I say we go for this. It's a safer Riven. Let's see what our crit chance on our build is now. It's a safer Riven. It might not be a better Riven. Okay, we're at 61% crit chance. So we are actually still safe. And as you can see on the build now, I am going to need to take off this, probably take out this toxin mod to put the cold mod back on if I do want the viral build still. And again, our weighting is pretty bad now, as we do have a toxin Riven. We went from previously with the old build, apparently 77.8 viral, we got 79.9. I say we keep rolling it some more. There's more crit chance rolls out there that aren't such high into the viral weighting. Not that the viral weighting is that terrible to have, but I'm just telling you guys, I've tried out the godliest god roll Verglas Riven that I've seen so far, the one I had in the video, and yeah, it's gonna be hard to compete with that. Like that was some good stuff. Like those Verglas, those Nautilus minions go crazy with the heat procs. So let's do like, I'd say like let's do like 7 more rolls. 7 more rolls seems okay. I have a good amount of Kuva left. Heat, critical chance, anti-Grenier. Okay, so this would be potentially pretty good, especially against Grenier. We lose 94.8% multi-shot, but we do get a bunch of heat weighting. Now, there is that fired up mod that I showed in my video where we get more heat from the Sentinel fire in the gun. But again, as stated in the previous video, I'm not always using that mod. So there's times where it's like, okay, well, maybe I don't want to have every mod slot for DPS. Like, it's more of a... Because you don't need fired up for full damage. It's just the best to have for maximum damage. So, and then, you know, anti-Grenier, sure. I mean, I don't mind anti-Grenier. It's not the thing I'm always looking to get. But and also there are primed anti-Grenier mods. So, a hard choice, actually. I think I am going to go with the multi-shot one. Now, the Verglas Arga Ignacron would be great for specifically Grenier. But I'm fighting against Corpus, I'm fighting against Corrupted. I want my Riven to be a little bit more min-maxed. And speaking of which, we do have another crit chance roll right here with critical chance fire rate, but negative Grenier. So the game heard me talking about how Grenier, you know, I don't really care about Grenier damage that much, and we get negative Grenier. So yeah, this is a lot of fire rate. This is our demons coming to face us through the course of this video. We have too much crit chance. We've got maybe even too much fire rate, honestly, and we've got negative Grenier. So I feel like this is a trap of a Riven. If I took this, we'd probably be, you know, this thing would be reloading more often than not. We have more crit chance than we'd need. We'd probably be at like, you know, 70-something% crit chance. So that could be good. But yeah, if we're fighting Grenier, we're going to be doing a lot less damage too, because this dispo is going to be pretty high. So, you know, I might be making some regrettable decisions here Riven-wise, guys. But we've had some pretty decent crit chance rolls to consider, actually. So I can't complain on that front. And I think this Riven actually is keepable. It might not be, you know, 8,000 plat Riven, but it looks like a pretty okay one at least. Now, if we somehow got crit chance and a punch through on there, that would be a really good one. I wouldn't mind a plus heat roll. Seriously, I wouldn't. but I do just love multi-shot. I know how good multi-shot can be on this thing as we get another multi-shot roll. And also, look at that variation in stats. 81% multi-shot on this tri-stat, and then the other tri-stat, the one we had, 94% multi-shot. That multi-shot is crazy high on that roll. And yeah, to put it in perspective as well, I believe my the Riven I sold was like over 100% multi-shot, so these can get some crazy high numbers. Another great heat proc roll right here, but unfortunately, you know, if you've been listening over the course of the video, we can't take rolls like that because I am trying to use Tenacious Bond with this bad boy, as it is very, very good. Okay, damage, crit chance, punch through, and no negative. We're getting no negatives on these rolls a lot. I think we're going to keep this one because punch through's not that important in my opinion, although it is kind of okay. Multi-shot status duration minus infested. Minus infested would be a great negative to keep on this thing, but yeah, just gonna keep moving on. Let's see. Let's hope we can get a god roll here. I got a god roll in 95 rolls on the previous one, and we got another heat roll. That's always good to see. But yeah, the rest of the stuff not looking too hot. Pun intended. All right, critical damage fire rate. Now that roll earlier, the critical chance, critical damage, anti-Guardian bias fire rate one. I'm thinking maybe we made a mistake rolling off of that and continuing to roll because, you know. Actually, no, I don't know. It was a lot of minus fire rate. I'm just thinking, like, how fast the thing can fire. Also, that would probably affect the minions, too. The duplex bond minions. And those having minus fire rate sounds not great. So, I'm kind of conflicted. There's been a lot of interesting decisions over the course of the video. But these 108% damage negative ones are not a hard decision, thankfully. Yeah, let's see if we can get something better, guys. Yeah, like I said, 95 on the previous one. And I said I'd stop at 42 rolls, but... yeah. We got a little bit more Kuva, okay? We can get something better. This is... I just sold an expensive version of this. I really miss it. If that guy who bought it is watching this video, like he said he watched the previous video, I'm kind of jealous of your Riven dude, so... yeah. I'm not looking to buy it back, but maybe. But maybe. You probably don't want to sell it, though. Critical chance, status chance, infested. No thank you. Infested damage, pretty worthless to me in 2024. Or actually, at any point. They didn't add those Worm God fights to Deimos like I was hoping they were. So yeah, anti-infested rolls never... actually, no, now that I think about that, there should be infested liches, but when have we ever needed an anti-lich Riven? We got another crit chance roll here, crit chance toxin, reload speed, but 103% minus status duration. So not only does that amplify my heat weighting woes, but it also has minus 100% status duration, so we don't even have any heat procs. That's like the worst one ever for heat procs. Punch through and toxin, decent stats, but we're already pretty much better than that one, I'd say. So if you guys enjoy these types of ribbon rolling videos, and I do end up even uploading this one, let me know in the comments down below, because, yeah, I don't usually do them as much anymore, because I've stopped rolling ribbons as often. Okay, well, wow, look, this one looks pretty good, but it's got minus 87.4% multi-shot. That's kind of sad. But yeah, look at how much crit chance it is, 195%. If we could have had somehow that multi-shot being a positive on there, that's the exact same ribbon I sold for that big money, so... unfortunate on that front. Alright, Verglas, Sati, Toxicron. Is that really the best we're going to get today? I think we can get better, guys. Let's go to at least 69 rolls. A nice round number, or nice number to end off on. So, about 9 more rolls. And no promises that the rolling ends after the video ends. If you do check me out on the live stream, this might have more rolls on it. To hopefully have a better roll if I do roll it more. Because there's times when you roll it more and you don't get anything better, and that's the really sad times. I think we're about 200 or 300k Kuva into this so far. But there's not really anything else to roll Rivens for, honestly. I don't have an AX52 Riven or a Harmony Riven. I do want to get one of those, but it's not really a priority. My Harmony build already can one-shot level 10,000s with no combo, which I'm assuming I don't need a Riven if I can kill them with no combo. And then also, for the AX52, I've already got that, you know, doing as much damage as possible, basically, so I'm not too worried about that one either, so. Yeah, and also AX52 did get a small dispo buff. Not sure if this video is coming out before or after my Riven dispo pass review, but, yeah. I think the AX52 did get a small Riven buff in there, alongside some other weapons that probably could have used the buffs as well. Alright, so we get some pretty bad ones on these last couple of rolls. That's been pretty hard competition versus some of the ones we had earlier, which actually seemed kind of decent. Okay, and it's also pretty easy to tell not to take it when you're just looking for crit chance only, basically. Okay, so what we got here? We got crit chance, viral, minus corpus. Crit chance viral is nice, but we're losing so much status chance, and also our heat weighting becomes pretty bad, too. But that being said... with a Riven like this, we actually could, this is actually kind of funny. We could actually have other heat mods on there to improve the heat weighting. A hard decision for sure. A lot worse, like a lot worse heat weighting, but we have built-in viral. Now this is a hard decision, guys. I'm not sure which one I want to take here, and it is the 69th roll as well. I feel like losing 94% multi-shot is rough. Truthfully, anti-corp is, I don't care about that as much, so I wouldn't be too opposed to taking that roll. But yeah, we already have. I think we take it, honestly. Let's quit beating around the bush. Let's take it. Let's take a look at what we have on our build after all that. And again, I'm not done. I might not be done rolling it, guys. But now we have even more viral, but we can take off this mod. So now we have viral heat. And let's see if there's any more heat mods we could throw on here for more. So we have a lot of room now. So we can put on multiple heat mods. So now we have this. We could also throw on, I mean, we have plenty of things we could throw on here, honestly. So we could put on Serration, because I don't have a damage riven anymore. Serration's 165% damage. We could put on... So we can put on that and another heat mod. Is that better? Maybe. Maybe not. I'm not entirely sure I made the right choice here, but either way, it does work for Tenacious Bond. Maybe I'll just try it out a little bit more, but yeah, either way, guys, hopefully you found this video fun and helpful. A little bit of Verglas riven rolling guide, a little bit of fun along the way. See you guys next time, and yeah, the riven dispo is intended. You guys take it easy, I'll see you next time. Peace!